disability or youth or ageness or a domestic relationship. The people who believe that 10 points is appropriately should be scored for office variable number 10. It's currently scored at 0. The defendant in this case made a 911 call immediately after having killed her husband. During that 911 call, she indicates that, quote, I just killed my husband. She indicates further statements about he's going to leave me. I just can't deal with it. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it. She continues to go on. He was going to leave me. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do it anymore. She continues to indicate that the reason why she killed him is because he was her husband and he was leaving her. Further, once she is in custody, she makes an excited utterance, 48 fucking years, and he is going to throw me away. She says, further, they can't have him anymore, and that she had to kill him, did not have any choice, she would not live without him. Those are all statements that were made by the defendant. Just because there is a marital relationship does not mean that you automatically score 10 points for offense variable number 10. But given the facts in this case, she killed him because of the marital relationship. And for that reason, I asked this court to score 10 points.
And Ms. Lutter, your argument in regards to OB 10.
Yes, Your Honor. So 10 points in OB 10 indicates that the offender exploited a victim's physical disability, mental disability, youth or agedness, domestic relationship, or the offender used his or her authority status. So the definition to exploit is defined as to exploit a victim, manipulate a victim for selfish or exploit also means to violate for the purpose of manipulating a victim for selfish or unethical purposes. I'm not sure that we have exploitation here. And so for that reason, I would be asking for it to be continue to be scored at 0. The probation department scored it at 0, and I think that it was appropriately scored by the probation department.
Ms. Hagen-Clark, any response?
Yes, selfish or unethical reasons. She killed him because she wanted to kill him, because she believed that he was leaving her. And I don't know that there's anything more selfish or more unethical than stabbing a person 14 times because you didn't like the fact that he was leaving.
In this matter, the court, having reviewed the variable 10, the instructions therein, also considering the definition of to exploit, a victim is to manipulate a victim for a selfish or unethical purpose. The court, in this matter, agrees with defense counsel that the court doesn't find that there was anything in the pre-sentence investigation report, any terms of the plea that shows that Ms. McIntyre did anything to manipulate the victim for a selfish or unethical purpose, or to take advantage or to coerce the individual to do any certain type of act. So the court does find that it's properly scored 0 points. Just so the record is clear regarding the rest of the pre-sentence investigation report, other than the agreed-upon changes just to the body of the pre-sentence investigation report, which was agreed upon, the parties did agree that Rule B3 would be properly scored at 25 points instead of 0 points. And that's your understanding, Ms. Hagen-Clark, in this letter?
Yes.
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
That brings the total OB to 95 points. Does not change the OB level, however, and the guidelines still remain at 144 months to 240 months. With that, Ms. Hagen-Clark, any sentencing comments?
Yes, Judge. I have a few victim impact statements I would like to read. Try to maintain a story. This is from Melissa Newton, daughter of Betsy and David McIntyre. It was always my husband's and my plan to take care of whichever parent outlived the other. My parents knew this. We even built our house to accommodate a wheelchair. With the way things ended, I pray we never have to. Over the last always outweighed her love. She was never willing to forgive anyone, including herself. She loves her children very much and loved her husband. He was an imperfect man, as we all are, but he had her back. He was always in her corner. Still, she had the mental capacity to stab that man to death. Her husband, father of her children, a man she loved. I believe this was premeditated, part of her plan when things started to unravel. I see that clearly now. I also believe she will murder again if she is able. She will never be sorry for anything and has likely justified her actions. As the years go by in prison, her mind will spin, her anger will grow, and paranoia will cause irrational thinking. She will seek revenge for whatever her brain imagines. Your Honor, you have the power to give our family the peace of mind knowing she will die in state custody. I pray that you give her the maximum sentence, ensuring her children never need to worry about caring for their father's murderer. If she outlives her sentence, one of us will have to. Please grant us the justice needed for our dad and his family. Since I cannot attend, I would like to ask the court's permission for someone to read the statement on my behalf. My siblings are hurting enough, and I cannot ask one of them to do this for me. Thank you, Your Honor, for your time and your courtesy in this matter. I quote, "With a broken heart, Mom, you took away any last words I would have liked to have with my dad. You also took away my last words with you." This is from Mary Wildman. I am Betsy's younger sister Mary, 1 year and 4 days apart. My mom bore 5 girls in 7 years, Betsy being middle child, born on February 13, 1956. We had a turbulent childhood, long story. Mom had addiction problems, suicide attempts, actually spent 9 months in Kalamazoo State Hospital when we were in our early teens, living with our dad and stepmom. Dad was a hard ass. Dad gone a lot, working to support us. He was not stupid, tool and die maker. He was calculating. He was a hunter. Betsy loved helping him gut the deer, liked to poke the stink sack. When we were very young, Betsy would threaten Carol, the youngest, and myself with knives. We would lock ourselves in the bathroom for what seemed like forever, while Betsy would taunt us with Dad's big elephant knife, machete-like knife that he used to cut watermelon, back and forth under the door. It took the two of us to hold the door so she couldn't get in, pushing the clothes hamper in front of us so she couldn't get our feet. Then our bigger sister Barb, God bless her, rest her soul, would come and save us. Betsy would run from her. Betsy would crawl around at night upstairs making animal noises just to scare us. Mom couldn't discipline us. I don't remember her ever hitting us. If we pushed her, she would say, "Wait till your dad gets home." And we knew we were in for it. I learned fast. He had a paddle, put us over his knee, paddled our butt. They divorced when I was 7, so glad she got custody. Then her addiction worsened, split us up twice between her family while Mom remarried. They called my dad the 3rd time. I was 11. And said, "Come get your girls." He did. New stepmom, tough but fair, never hit us. Betsy would sneak out to have sex with boys, very promiscuous, pregnant at 17. I was not close with her until after she married David and had kids. Fast forward, I moved to Florida when I was 26. Betsy and I talked almost every day for years. After kids grown and out, they came here. We went to their house. We had a lot of good times together. We played cards for hours, a lot. Family always said David was a saint for being her. She called me once and told me nobody wanted the puppies her kids' dog had. $15 a piece to take to pound. Bullets were cheaper, she said. She dug a hole, put the 6 to 8 puppies in the hole, and shot them all. I said, "Holy shit, that was so wrong." Then she looked at David and said, "If you ever cheat on me, I'll leave you quivering in a hole just like those puppies." I said, "Betsy, so wrong, no remorse." I got a call from Bart once saying she was at their house. Betsy called and was threatening to kill David because he cheated on her. They took all her knives. I said, "Put David on." We were pretty close. Careful not to cross any line. I asked him if true. I really needed to know how we have to handle this. He said no, he didn't. I said, "Put Betsy on," and I talked her down. Betsy is well-read, very smart, dyslexic, we found out later. Betsy got a little dog, a Yorkie, around 58. We were all shocked at the change in her. She loved Gracie. She was different, loving an animal, shockingly pleased. Short-lived, dog had a lung condition that they could do expensive surgery with no guarantee. They really couldn't afford it. If there was a guarantee, she would have come up with money, I'm sure. But she called me crying on her 60th birthday. Smoke from a wood fireplace exacerbated her condition. She was gasping and having trouble breathing. She said Gracie was looking at her, asking for help. They lived so far put 38 on my nightstand since. I missed my sister Barb's funeral because people called me and said, "Don't come to Michigan." They were afraid for me. She always said that they would never divorce till death do they part. She had 2 people on her hit list: Larry Helzer, sister Barb's ex, who molested my nephew Jeremy when he was little, and the kid she said molested her grandson. She told me if she ever got cancer and was going to die, she would kill them both and let the state take care of her. They both died before that happened. I tried to make peace with her 3 times. The first 2, no response. Last time was last September 2024. I will include a copy of text. I am now able to talk to her children. She has kept us from talking since our rift. It's her only, or you will suffer her wrath. I didn't want to cause any trouble for them, so I stayed away. I know she knows the difference between right and wrong. She may have demons, but she knew the only way to get us all was to take David from all of us. His sister Karen and family included. His daughter begged him not to go there. She told me that she's going to kill you. He said, "I know." To me, he is a hero. I hear his health wasn't good, had trouble breathing. He knew the only way to save all of us is if she was locked up. I hear he didn't fight. I don't know. I love him more now. Thank you, David. We all love you. I have so many questions I'll probably never know, but I forgive her. I have 2 for me. Bible says so. I cannot judge, but I feel she should never get out. If she's in there, she cannot hurt anyone else. Sorry so long. This is from Lori McIntyre. Betsy McIntyre has deprived me of my brother that I love so much. I am on edge. I can't eat because of my nerves. My brother was supposed to get the house, and now I don't know where I'm going to live. I don't think that Betsy should ever get out. She deserves to stay in jail or prison for life after what she did. From Melissa Newton. Due to the defendant being my mother and for killing my father, I have lost both parents. I need to live with the fact that my mother will spend her life in prison and that my father suffered in pain and fear during his last breath. He was betrayed by his wife of over 45 years. My siblings, my husband, all of our families have been traumatized by this. We have nightmares and PTSD knowing we were raised by the defendant and left our children alone with her. I have no physical injuries. Emotional injuries cannot even be addressed for me at this time. My husband has an aggressive form of cancer and his doctor appointments at this time come first. If allowed, I would like to request $5,000 for emotional distress. I had a panic attack, my first ever dragons, tornado warnings and sirens. I thought my mom's spells were trying to kill me. She is a witch, and I thought she was going to kill me for talking to somebody I wasn't supposed to be talking to. No property loss at this time, although when in my mother's and father's estate is completed, my sister and I will take a tremendous loss. The house property was listed for sale at $259,000. There's no way we will receive this due to the fact that my dad being murdered by my mother on the property. I get a 1099, no proof of loss. I missed a week, 24 hours of work total at $15 an hour plus tips. I included a deposited weekly paycheck for reference. I had to travel out of state to take care of my father's remains and speak with prosecutors. Note the week missing. I have a request for reimbursement for cremation costs not listed in this request. I think whether the defendant works to compensate me for lost wages, that it wouldn't change her mindset. She still would live for revenge, reference her tattoo. Either way, at the very least, she owes me $360 for lost wages. I also believe you do the crime, you do the time. She raised us knowing and saying that. She wouldn't help us if we did the crime. My mother brutally killed my father, took him away from us in more ways than one. She never allowed us to know our father without her. When she filed for divorce, I believe she could not stand the fact that we were finally able to speak to him without her presence. She bugged the house, my brother has the bug, and couldn't let us have him here to call my Aunt Karen. She has had a hit list for years, whether it is in her head or on paper. If she is ever let out, she will carry out this hit list. I believe my Aunt Mary is on it as well as me. Gary has texts proving my mother wants to kill her. My mother did a good job raising us. She just cannot get over her hate. I hope she learns to forgive herself and others while she is in there. She did the best she could, but she does not excuse the result. I will always cherish the good memories and the fact that she moved me out of state at age 18.
I just put that on this Alderman's letter, is that correct?
I'm sorry, Judge, is that letter from? One was from Melissa Newton. Your Honor, I have no further impact statements. I would ask the court to adopt the sentence agreement and sentence the defendant to 20 to 40 years in prison with credit for the time that she has already served. Thank you.
Thank you. And is there any other family members or that would like to make a statement to the court at this time?
Seeing nobody object, I would note for the record that there are lots of people in the courtroom. I had an opportunity to speak with them before the court came out. It does not appear that there's anybody else who wishes to speak. I would note that Ms. Karen McIntyre is on the Zoom, and I have not had an opportunity to speak with her.
Ms. McIntyre, can you hear the court all right?
Yes. Yes.
Right. Is there anything that you would like to state to the court in regards to sentencing?
I believe she's a monster. She should spend time in prison till the day she dies.
Right. Anything further?
Not right now.
Okay, I appreciate your being here and the statements that you made. Ms. Leonard, any sentencing comments?
Your Honor, I'm just asking that you follow the terms of the plea agreement. Obviously, we have a sentence agreement in this case, so I'm just asking.
And Ms. McIntyre, anything you'd like to tell the court?
I'm going to say no and leave it at that. I know the truth.
The court has had the opportunity to review the pre-sentence investigation report, also having heard from family members in this matter through the written statements read by the prosecution. This matter, Ms. McIntyre was before the court on a first-degree murder charge. It was resolved through a plea, which the court does find is a reasonable resolution, given all the facts and circumstances. Therefore, Ms. McIntyre, the court sentenced you as follows. To the charge of murder in the second degree, those guidelines are 144 months to 240 months. The negotiated plea is within those guidelines. Sentences you to a sentence of 20 years to 40 years with the Michigan Department of Corrections, with credit for 135 days served. There's a crime victims assessment in the amount of $130. Court costs $600, fine of $100. You must comply with DNA testing and pay a $60 DNA fee, and there is $68 in court costs. With that, anything further, Ms. Hagman-Clark?
No, Judge.
Ms. Leonard?
No, thank you.
Ms. McIntyre, your appeal period is 42 days from today. If you wish to file an appeal and you cannot afford an attorney, one would be appointed for you. And you acknowledge receipt of those appellate rights? Yes. Just need your initial on that form, and then that will be all. All right. With that, that concludes this matter. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.